see multiple people are still coming in and joining us, so we welcome everyone who wants to join in. But we are so excited. Kat is here, and we are going to talk to these lovely ladies about our next presentation. So Beatriz, take it away.
Hi. Well,
or Kat can take it away, whatever.
Take that off so I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, of course.
And then we get out of the way of the dresses, because those are what's really pretty.
And then you can open your dress to show everybody your dress. We put our masks behind.
So Beatriz Andrekovich, did I say it right?
Yes.
Thank
you,
close,
Kat.
yeah. She's with Casa de Mexico, and these ladies help us every year for our Dia de los Muertos. They do the ofrenda, if you guys know what an ofrenda is. And they help us decorate and get ready, and they do some dancing on the stages for us for entertainment. But today they're going to tell us a little bit about some of the Mexican holidays that we don't know so much about. They're going to tell us a little bit about Casa de Mexico. They're just going to educate us in some really wonderful culture and fun. So I'm going to let them talk. I'll be over here if you need me.
Thank you, Kat. Well, I want to first thank CityArts. In Mexico, we always say, mi casa es su casa, my house is your house. And I have to tell you that we always ask people to open their hearts and their mind to us as Mexicans. And CityArts and Kat, thank you, honey. All of you in CityArts have always opened your house to us. We truly feel in CityArts that we're in our house, in our casa. And I also want to thank the different altares that were built here in CityArts, whereby Mexicanas in Orlando. So the credit goes to Mexicanas in Orlando, a fabulous group of Mexican ladies where I'm in. And as a team, we have always built those altares that I hope that you have enjoyed last year and the year before. And Mexico Lindo is the group that dances the folkloric dances that you have also enjoyed. And today we have Mariana with us from Mexico Lindo. I am with Casa de Mexico as well, and we're doing this exhibition with Casa de Mexico and with Tertulia Cuatro Gatos. Both groups, Casa de Mexico and Tertulia Cuatro Gatos, are pleased always to bring you the art and culture of different Hispanic countries. Well, Casa de Mexico from Mexico and Tertulia Cuatro Gatos from every Hispanic country. I want to introduce them Mariana Colin from Mexico Lindo, always supporting Casa de Mexico, always supporting CityArts. And Mariana was elected the queen of the independence parties. We call them Fiestas Patrias in Mexico during October. September, October are the months where most countries celebrate their independence. That's why we have Hispanic month during those months. And in Mexico, independence is September 16th. But in October, we also have parties to celebrate all the harvests. And that's what we call the Fiestas Patrias, September, October. And Mariana was elected queen of those parties in 2020 at the Casa de Mexico.
Queen, this is royalty.
Royalty. Beautiful. Yeah. She's also a student of veterinary. I hope I'm saying it correctly. So we are very proud of you, Mariana. Thank you. And she dances so beautifully with her mother, Gisela Maldonado, who is the director of Mexico Lindo. And we are going to talk to you about different traditions, about different dresses, about different food, because Mexico is made of 32 states, and every state is different. Just like, let's say, California is different from Florida, from New York. In Mexico, we're all Mexicans. Doesn't matter where we came from, and our families could have come from Europe, indigenous, from Africa, from Asia. But as soon as you're born in Mexico, you're Mexican. So it's not a look, it's a citizenship. And we all have the same rights and obligations as everybody else. And yes, we are very patriotic. We love our country because it's full of tradition, and we work very hard at maintaining those traditions. In fact, Mexican cuisine and traditions, like we're going to show, travel all around the world. Wherever you have a Mexican person, you're going to learn about Mexico. It's in our blood to share our culture and our art with you. It truly is in our blood. We just love to share and love to have you come to Mexico. That's what we say, mi casa es su casa. So anytime that you can come to Mexico that is safe after the pandemic, please come to visit our beautiful country. Now, our country, as I said, is made of 32 different states. One of them is the state of Jalisco. And I'm going to let Mariana talk about the state of Jalisco, which her beautiful dress from Jalisco.
Hello, my name is Mariana Colin. I am proudly a dancer in the Mexican folkloric dance troupe Mexico Lindo, and this authentic traditional dress is from the state of Jalisco, as Beatriz said. And this dress proudly represents what Mexico is. It's people, it's life, it's culture. Even every single detail is rooted into what Mexico is built on. For example, we adore and value nature, as proudly represented in the headpiece made of flowers. All the different strings and details are rooted into the balance of life, death, love, creation, and everything that Mexico values. And I believe that this dress is proudly representing what Mexico is. And Jalisco, a little bit more on that, is a state most famously known for its tequila.
Yes, yes, oh yes.
And this sombrero is also part of an authentic mariachi wear. So the mariachi was also originated from this wonderful state of Jalisco.
And the dance, have you danced with that dress?
Yes, so this dance and this dress is one of many of the state of Jalisco, and one of the most almost known as the second national anthem of Mexico is the Son de la Negra and the Jarabe Tapatío, and all of these share stories of the past and of, you know, just life and celebrating what it is.
Maybe you can show us a little bit of how you move your skirt.
Yes.
Look at that beautiful skirt, those waves, because Jalisco, the state of Jalisco, is located next to the ocean on the Pacific coast and surrounded by mountains. And as Mariana said, each one of these lines represents that the water, the grass, the mountains, the people, the animals, everything that makes nature, and how we live as humans in balance with nature. So it is a beautiful state to live in, to visit. My mother is from Jalisco, so I want to make sure that we mention that state. Another state, yes, that we have to mention is the state of Puebla. So this dress is from the state of Puebla. As you see, it has beautiful flowers. Again, we show nature. So birds, flowers are always going to be in our blouses, in our dresses. See here you have the eagle, which is in the flag of Mexico, green, white, and red with the eagle in between. And there we have a legend, you know, where the people that became the Aztecs later, they called them Mexicas, they came down from the north. Well, that's what is thought from Greenland. And then they were looking for an eagle that was going to be on top of a nopal plant. So that's why we have the eagle in our flag. And the green in the flag represents the green of the land, the mountains, the grass. The white is for peace. And the red is the blood that we all have had to pay to have an independent country. Because Mexico was invaded by Spain, and then we fought for independence. And in Mexico, after our independence, there was a big decision that we could mix with all the different kind of different groups of Indians, Spanish people, Black people who were brought as slaves, and then different groups of people that came from other parts of Europe and Asia to become all part of the same country and be able to live in balance together, even with our differences. You know, my parents always said, you know, the fingers in your hands are all different, but you can all come together and form a community. So that's what we think that we can do in Mexico. Going back to the dress, then you see that it has a lot of glitter. Well, there's a legend there that said that there was a lady who came from China and she used to wear a lot of glitter in her clothes. So that glitter and all of those stones were incorporated into this skirt. That's very interesting because if you look at the different people of Mexico, some people have said that certain groups of Indians look Asian. Truth is that they have found places in Mexico with the DNA and different studies they have done today, that people most likely were able to come from other places in Africa and from Asia, even before the Spanish people came. So we have some Asian in us, and this beautiful skirt, even that was done years later, represents that heritage that we all have. In my arms, I have a rebozo. Rebozos vary from state to state. This rebozo you can find more in Mexico City, so even though I'm wearing it with outfit from the state of Puebla, I'm going to show it as well as wearing it to see again the different lines. And now you know that all the different lines tell your story. The story of people, the story of the village, where every line represents a story. Because before writing was invented, people will tell stories and will memorize the stories helped by art. So with that art, they will remember, oh yes, when this happened, when that happened, this was the water, this were the greens, this were the animals. So all these beautiful shawls tell you a story, and they can be worn in different ways. Even to carry a baby, you will see them worn in very different ways. Beautiful, just like the flowers that we explained that represent the nature in our country. And they also represent that we are a country that has a very diverse ecosystem. It's not all a desert. It's a desert in the north, but it has the valley in the center with mountains and the tropical forests in the south. And it also represents that we're very happy people, because many things happen to us. I mean, every country has its challenges, but we decide to be happy, to be in balance with nature, and to be very happy people. So this is the afro from Puebla. Puebla is also famous because of Cinco de Mayo. Which, yes, which many people think is the independence of Mexico. It's not. This is a very important battle that was fought against the French in 1862. And in Puebla, that state, there was a big battle that was won against the French. This is the times of Napoleon where he wanted to conquer and own the whole world. So that battle was very important because after being independent from Spain, we didn't want to fall now into France's hands. And yes, we were invaded by the United States too, Kat. Yep, it happened, you know, we're neighbors.
Yeah,
That's what I said, we have had our challenges, our stories being neighbors, you know, half of our land is gone, but we're here showing that
It's
even
true,
after
right,
all of
because
that.
Mexico, and you know, originally had Texas, right? When we get
Yes,
Texas
and
a little bit of
California, like
California.
almost all what they call the
whole-
Sun Belt states of the south of the United
Right.
States, except for Florida, which belonged to Spain.
Right.
So
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
I know it's tough to talk about those things because no, we didn't sell it, we didn't give it away,
Oh,
we were
no, no.
invaded,
No,
and that's
no.
the price of
No.
peace. That
It's it's unfortunate, but it happens to all countries. I mean, you know, the United States was invaded by England, and you know, once
yes,
you know, so it helps to. I feel it helps to get the countries to embrace other cultures, you know, because you're part of it. You know, there's through the
It's in
history
our
of time,
blood.
we've
We
all
all
been
have a mix of
invaded
blood in
by
us.
so many. The Vikings invaded. I mean, I don't even know who the first invader was. I'm not a historian, but I do know that every time that happens, that you leave a little bit of the culture behind, and so that take the pieces that work for you and you know you embrace it and make your culture even better. You know, I mean the pagans, the Catholics, Protestant, all of these religions. I mean, they're all kind of meshed together now too.
and that is the best thing is exactly to bring it together because, like you said, even in Mexico, we have 2 million Americans living in Mexico.
Mhm.
We had to learn to live together.
Right.
And live in peace. My husband is from Pennsylvania. We had to learn to live together and do it. I
Right.
mean, we are neighbors, and after everything that happens, we have to be able. And I think we have been able to. And when you mentioned the Vikings, you know they have even found bones of the Vikings in Mexico. The Irish played an important
Those
part
guys
in
got
our
around.
independence.
You know, they had those really cool boats. They got around.
They did. And we truly are a mix of different cultures, of different traditions. And in the case of Mexico, I think the Catholic Church was smart in not destroying everything they found because they realized that a lot of the beliefs of indigenous people were based on nature, being in balance with nature.
Right.
So many celebrations were mixed with Catholic traditions.
Right.
And that's why when you look at any of the holidays or traditions that we have, you see a mix of the Catholic Church with the traditions of the local Indians. Now, the groups are very different. You people know Aztecs, but they're Mayas,
Yeah, it's all
Toltecas,
different.
Zapotecas, Chichimecas, many different groups according to the part of Mexico they're in, and they look different. Some are tall, some are short, some have long noses, some have flatter faces. So every group of Indian is different. And just like in the United States, you know, people who came from maybe Norway or from France or from Italy established themselves in different states. The same happened in Mexico. As people came, they established themselves in different states. So the people of one state do not look like the people from our state, we're all Mexican.
Right.
The pottery is different, the food is different,
Yeah.
the dresses are different. And that's why it's so interesting to visit each one of the states and absorb the best it has to give. And that's what we believe, that we give always our best, no matter where we are, what state we're in. And because, like I said before, it's in our nature that we want to share all culture. And that's what we do here in the States. We want to share because I think that if all of us share the best into the community, you build a stronger community, a
Sure.
better community for everybody.
It's true. I love learning about different cultures, so I always enjoy it when you guys come and I learn new stuff because it's all good. So tell us a little bit more.
But we're gonna show you some of the stuff that we brought. We have an alebrije that you may have heard mentioned. An alebrije, it's a mixture of different animals. These were started in Mexico in the beginning of the 1915, 1920. There was an artist, his last name was Rosas, and he painted paintings putting all these mixtures of animals. And he wanted, during Carnival, to make these figures in a party. So he asked person who makes papier mache in Mexico, we call it cartonero, his last name was Linares, to make this creature. Now this person was used to making piñatas, which are made part with clay and part with papier mache to make different shapes. He also made the Judases. A Judas is a creature, you know, from the 12 apostles that we burn on the Saturday before Easter, you know, to get rid of sin. And so he was used to making them. So the painter told the papier mache artist, you know, make me something that you do with papier mache. So he mixed different animals and created creatures where you mix maybe a lion with a cat, with a snake. And they became very popular. I mean, different artists that you hear of, like Frida Kahlo, you know, like Diego Rivera, started to order them. So he became very popular, very famous. Now, an artist later in Oaxaca, the state of Oaxaca is in the southwest of Mexico, decided to make them out of wood. So now you see alebrijes that again are a combination of different animals made of wood. And this is one of them where, Mariana, can you tell us what combination is this?
Yes. So this here we have in the tail, the ringtail. There is it's an endemic animal called the cacomixtle, which is endemic from the city of Mexico, Mexico City. And here we have in the paws. Well, you can't really see through the camera, but the paws show a similarity of a tiger or a lion, like
Yes.
a big feline.
Claws, yes.
And yeah, the claws. And here we have the cacomisle. It has sort of features of a cat, but this can also be a mixture of a cat, you know, a domestic cat. So this is definitely a mixture of all of these animals. And there are many alebrijes. There are some I have at home that are mixed with the crab and a deer, and it's truly a work of art. And it's definitely something. This is definitely handmade by the people of Mexico, and they.
And this one is wood?
Yeah, this is
So
wood.
this one from the state then of Oaxaca, the southwest. Now it's very hard to find them made of papier mache carton when they're small. Unless you go to a parade, those big festivals are right now not taking place because of coronavirus. Then they make them, yes, they would make big figures of papier mache carton. But when they're small, they make them of wood. And sometimes the animals that they create are totally fantastic, you know, out of imagination. They don't exist in real life.
Signed by the artist.
Yes, they are expensive. Alebrijes are expensive
It's beautiful.
because they're very hard to make. Many things are handmade, and there are a lot of, when you go to Mexico, remember that many things like my shirt are handmade, like the dresses. So let's show always respect to the artist. You know, a blouse, a skirt, like a painting, like an alebrije, it's all art. And it takes time and knowing how to make it. It's not simple. So that's why I support the arts, because no matter what the type of art is, singing, dancing, sculpture, you know, drawing, or papier mache, we have to pay what it's worth. We have to support the arts, or they will disappear from our countries, and that's a big treasure. In fact, many types of art have disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very, very sad.
People forget about that artists work really hard. They think, oh, well, you're just painting, but I cannot do it. You know, I cannot do it. And then, so, you know, here at Downtown Arts District, CityArts, we make sure that our artists get paid. You know, somebody comes and wants an artist to do something, like we have to pay them because it's their talent and their time. It takes a lot of time. You can tell if you guys can't see it on camera, but if you flip it over, you can see some of the chisel marks underneath. You know, so it's hand done and hand carved. That takes time. These paper mache dolls that you have take time. Everything takes time.
Paper mache dolls, these were used with they're dead. I was telling Kat, they don't smell, don't worry, but they're dead, very dead.
She told me they were
And we love to
decomposing.
bring We love to bring exhibit them. They're from Artisca, Malinali, from Mexico City also. I'm from Mexico City. Your mother is from Mexico City. Were you born in Mexico
Yes,
City?
I was born in Mexico.
So we're all hecho en Mexico, made in Mexico, from Mexico City, the capital. And these dolls are made of papier mache. So I'm gonna look so you see that they have their dresses. Again, now we know that the different colors and the different lines tell a story of that village. So they both have their dresses, their shawls, and well, this one has a veil. That one has the other kind of veil, because long ago, to go to church, and maybe long ago here, you have to cover your head up for respect when you went into church. So that's why they both have their shawls. They're very good friends. They love coming to CityArts. They've come here for many, many, many years,
Been
right?
here many times. Yeah, they are our friends, and we love to see them. I just
Yeah,
love
I'm gonna
them.
be here for many.
They stand up sometimes in the window just to let people know that they're there. Like
And
to
they can be
wave.
carried,
Yeah.
like in carnavales or parades, they can be carried. They were on Univision too. They are famous.
They are famous. Yeah.
Yes. So we love to have the ladies. Thank you, Kat, for making them and for letting us bring them everywhere, because we love to have them. And the secrets they must tell.
They know it
They
all.
see everything.
They're really good at keeping them too. They don't talk much, but
They hear, but they don't talk.
it's true. All right, tell us about more stuff on the table.
Okay, well, we also have a piñata. Since I talked about the piñata, the
Like a
piñata.
COVID thing, I have to tell you.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yellow,
Little
little
COVID.
COVID thing out of there.
Because in Mexico, we have piñatas all year round. You cannot have a fiesta, a party without a piñata. They're part of tradition. And they can be a superhero, a princess, or they can have this sticking out. They can be any shape. In fact, my children, whenever we had a princess or a superhero, they're like, please, mom, don't break it, don't break it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, after making this beautiful thing,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
break it.
Don't break
No,
it.
it's like when they make the judas, the one I said, the apostle that would burn. You're sad because after making that beautiful thing, you're gonna burn it.
Yeah.
It's like when you make with chalk paints on the floor,
Mhm.
like plein air, and after making masterpieces, you wash them away, and I was like, oh, please don't. But that's part of the tradition, we break them. They used to be made always in the center with clay, and these parts are made with paper, the papier mache or carton. Nowadays, because after hitting the piñata, some of the clay pieces have fallen on children,
Yeah.
they are made more and more, the centers made with papier mache.
Yes.
And it has candy in the middle. Now, during Christmas, the piñatas have 7 little things like this sticking out, because they represent the 7 sins that you kill, let's say you break, you get rid of during Christmas. And then when the candy comes out, is what you get from being a good person. So they also have a meaning. Yes, now where did they start? They have seen that indigenous people, they will hang pieces of clay like porridge with a hole, and they will put seeds and some other things there, and they will tip them for children to get some of the seeds or to get some of the stuff that was there. And sometimes they will hit them to break them. So it's thought that maybe part of the tradition came from there. There's another idea or legend that maybe they are from China, because in China it seems that some people did the same. But you know what? When we think and we know that we have found DNA in people from Asia, I wouldn't be surprised if both of those traditions are intertwined. Yes. Have you ever seen the big heads out of the Museum of Anthropology in Mexico? And Mexico is number 2 in museums around the world after England.
That's
But
awesome.
we have a beautiful museum, the Museo de Antropología, and you have seen maybe a big head if you have been there. If not, if you go to Epcot, to the country of Mexico, the big head is there on the right. And if you look at it, its eyes are like this. So, and I'm sorry, it's not a stereotype, but the eyes are like this to show that it's Asian, and its mouth has thick lips to show the African ascendants that we have in Mexico. And so that old head tells you what is in our blood.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really be surprised if those 2 legends come together for the origin of the piñata.
It makes sense to me.
Corn. Corn is very important in Mexico and throughout Latin America as food. In fact, many times it was used as the plate for food. That's why today tacos or tamales incorporate the corn, and we eat everything in it. And corn is also used to make things like these dolls are made of corn. Yes, from the corn husk, and you see how it has the lines, and we know it's telling you a story. And With this one,
Today, tacos or tamales.
but the other one is carrying the calla lilies or alcatraces.
Oh, nice.
I remember Diego Rivera made those alcatraces, calla lilies, famous in his paintings.
Yeah.
In this case, they're of many colors, but those are the famous alcatraces, calla lilies that Diego Rivera always painted. And I'm gonna turn her around. The braid, even the braid has a meaning. The braid is people coming together, your family coming together. That's why I see I have my braid. Mariana has her braid up here also, and the doll has her braid. Because it shows you, and you know, it is hard because sometimes our family may not be our best friends. So it's a challenge. But it's just, you know, tell us, you know, as much as you can, you know, we have to bring the community together. And that community, you know, even make that basket, it's important because you can't have everybody, let's say, making a basket or growing the vegetables. In a community, in a society, you need a doctor, you need a lawyer, you need a person who picks up the garbage, the one who makes the basket, the one who grows the food, the one who makes the flowers. You know, you need everybody in that society to truly make a community. So yeah, I know it's a challenge, but sometimes we just have to try hard to come all together. And we can do it. I think the more we try, the better we can get it.
Yeah.
Here, we're going to show you more pottery. So this one is a cazuela. From
Got
Mexico.
chicken in there? 'Cause I'm gonna start getting
No, that's not today, but
El taco.
we used to cook in these ones. I mean, some people still make some dishes in the cazuelas because of the flavor of the clay or an underground ovens. But as you see, this one is not to cook because it's so beautifully decorated. So this one cannot be burned, but just to show you the shape. We have another one here with a different decoration. And clay can be even black, depending on the state you're in, like in Oaxaca, the clay is black. Everything you see is made of black clay.
It's based on the soil content.
Yes. See, this is another type of
Beautiful.
pattern, yes. So
Really
it's
pretty.
different states. Like this one is made of the wood from a tree. This one is from the state of Michoacan. So these are seeds that hang from a tree, and then they color them. And see, it has all the paintings that from the state of Michoacan.
Pretty.
Maybe you have
Beautiful.
seen bigger ones. They even used to drink water to carry them. Yes, to drink water.
So they can get really big. Those.
Yes,
like
like
a
they get
gourd.
really,
I
really
thought it
big.
was
Yes,
a gourd,
just like that. Yes, and then they decorate them.
I also see a Corona, so that, what tree did that? grow
Yes,
off of?
yes. We
Is there
have
a
to show you the
tree?
Corona, a beer from Mexico, a jarrito.
Jalito,
I love
yeah.
Jarrito, these are delicious in different
Yeah,
flavors.
yeah,
Yes, and we have many Mexican restaurants here, so
yeah,
you
oh, I
can
know,
go
they're
and
so good. In fact,
and
there's
have-
so many really good Mexican restaurants now. Yeah, Tex-Mex is almost a thing of the past, right?
And now
Because
it's
the
like
Mexican-
authentic. Yeah.
Now you can get such really good authentic Mexican restaurant and Mexican food here in town that, you know.
I think the Tex-Mex was to get people to like
Yeah,
step
throw
out a
some
little
cheese
bit
on
and
it.
then try the
You
real
know,
Mexican
throw some
food.
cheese on the Mexican food, but you know, to me, I mean, I love both, quite frankly, but the first like real authentic Mexican restaurant I went to here in town was actually in Oaxaca. And I was thrilled, man. I was like, built my own tacos. Like they had like grilled jalapenos I could put on them. I'm like, yes.
Delicious.
Yes, it's delicious. Yeah, it's delicious. But I also know, having been through Mexico when I travel with my mom, the flavors do change throughout
The
the
food
areas that you.
changes in every state. There's
Yeah.
certain soups or certain dishes from one state that you cannot find in another state. You know,
Yeah.
like cabritos from one state, like barbacoa from another state. So
Yeah, I had an
like
onion
Lima
soup
soup.
that was totally different from what I think of as the French, the French onion soup is totally different. It's yummy. But yeah, it's really fabulous. You can't.
Yes, and sometimes depending on what
interrupt
the
me.
cook is.
I'm gonna move back to my corner.
Let's say if the cook,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was gonna say, if the cook is from a certain state, most likely that restaurant may have the food from that state because the cook comes from that state and they can cook that. So it really depends where the cooks come from or where the owners of the
And
restaurant
they
come
use
from,
their
what
ingredients
foods
that's
they're going to
around
have.
them, yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, and what is available because sometimes the weather here does not permit certain vegetables or certain things to grow, and sometimes it's hard to bring them, so it's not going to be exactly the same. And sometimes the palate of different people is not ready for that taste. Like, yes, I love to eat brains, even brains or the tongue of a cow, but these are delicious food. I would say try it without knowing what you're eating,
Right.
and then you say yes or no, you like it. And some of them, like pig's feet, other cultures eat them too. They are delicious. Sometimes with the corn, they make it go, I don't know what to call it, like it gets fungus. What do you call it? The fungus?
Yeah, huitlacoche is actually, it's fungus from the corn, and that we eat it in quesadillas, tacos.
Delicious. But we better not tell you that it's fungus or you won't need it. So there are many things that maybe are not, that are not here yet, because people have to risk it more trying the food, but it's truly delicious and safe. So I would say, depending even on the Mexican restaurant you go to, ask them like, what's your specialty? Like, where does the cook from? Where does the owner come from? And that may be the best dishes like in that restaurant, because they're truly all different, all delicious. And some restaurants also have a store. So when you want to buy like burritos or like, I don't know, like the chocolates or like chips that are from Mexico, they are restaurants like La Hacienda that also have a store. And then there are restaurants where you can eat outside and they're beautiful, like Don Julio Lake Nona, which I love, because it's beautiful to sit outside. So when you mentioned los girasoles, we bought, or rosca de reyes, we bought it there in los girasoles, which we're going to talk about traditions. So what's a rosca de reyes, that kind of bread. So I would say that in every restaurant, even if you didn't like it, say, well, maybe I didn't like this one, but try another with totally new eyes, because the food may be totally different.
Right.
Yes, but we'll continue showing you what we have on the table.
Yeah, and you were gonna tell us too about some of the different holidays, so
Yes.
let's not forget about that. We got about
We won't
20
forget.
minutes, so we wanna make sure we
Okay,
hit all of our
well,
stuff.
for the holidays, we'll take this to mention one of the holidays which we just celebrated. This is to make
Oh, and,
hot chocolate.
But
We just had
I've
yesterday.
been told to bring it closer to the camera so that people can see it. And what, you spin it like this?
Yeah.
Yes, that's to make hot chocolate. We just celebrated February the 2nd, the day of the Candelaria.
So
That is-
what does this do to the hot chocolate?
Mixes it
Does it
better.
make it frothy?
Yeah, makes it
Is
foam.
better?
Makes
Oh,
it
okay.
foam. So the day of the Candelaria, we just celebrated February 2nd. It's a celebration that incorporates tamales, which we saw because the corn is so important. Chocolate, because chocolate was used as a coin by ancient Aztecs, and the chocolate was only reserved like for the king, so for the priest. Now it's for everybody, but that's why it combines those two things to celebrate whomever found little baby Jesus in the rosca. The rosca de reyes is a bread.
Oh, is that the bread? It's much
6.
like much like New Orleans does for Mardi Gras. We have the little baby. You have to find the baby in the bread, the king cake.
Oh, that's
Right?
we have that one on January 6th. So you have to find baby Jesus in the Three Kings, because he's hiding from Herodes and wanted to kill all the children. So whomever finds it becomes like the godfather, godmother, has to dress baby Jesus to present baby Jesus February 2nd in the temple, the way Virgin Mary did long ago in the Jewish tradition. 40 days after the baby was born, a mom could go into the temple, present the baby, go with the dad, but then she was clean, was what they call purify your family, you bless the children that day, presented baby Jesus. And in Mexico, when we do that, it's saying baptism for the Catholic religion, but we always see tamales and chocolate. So when we do that February 2nd,
That's
we have
awesome.
the tamales and chocolate, present the baby.
All right.
They bless their family too. They
I'm
bless
gonna start
us
making
on
that
February
tradition.
2nd. And then when children don't behave, they put a lot of holy water in blessings. Yes.
The chocolate syrup.
And for King's Day, it's very nice because it's a celebration special that brings family, that brings the community, that brings friends together. Now, since we talk about January 6th, that's when children used to receive most of the gifts, King's Day, but we also receive gifts on December 24th. At night is when we celebrate Christmas. Right. But in Mexico, we have many traditions during Christmas. We also have the pastorela, where you enact like a play of everything that happened. And it was a very important way for the first people who came from Spain to educate the indigenous people into the religion, to show them with a play how it happened, to explain the Bible, because it was in Latin then and nobody understood. So that's a way to explain, with pastorelas, with posadas, which we have for 12 days, but actually 8 days. After we celebrate Virgin Mary on December 12th, we have posadas. In those, we're trying to find a place for Virgin Mary to have baby Jesus. So we go knocking on doors until like singing a certain song. And then when finally somebody opens the door, we continue to sing, we pray the rosary, and we have a fiesta. Because we always have fiestas in Mexico with food. You cannot have anything without
Down
fiesta.
for the fiesta.
And for December 12th, when we celebrate the Virgin, before December 12th, we also pray the rosary. And December 12th is for Virgin of Guadalupe.
Oh, good, we
This
can
is a painting made, yes, by my daughter Jacqueline. Virgin Guadalupe appeared on December 12th in the 1520s. The reason she's important is because she put together the Spanish and indigenous people with her presence. She appeared 3 times, and on the 3rd time disappeared on the clothing of indigenous Juan Diego. And her hand, one is dark, one is white.
You go with her so you can
And
tell.
what she was trying to say is that we have to come together, dark and light, the different groups of people in Mexico. And the goddess Coatlicue, which was the goddess of fertility and nature for the Aztecs, was very important. So she came to be that goddess. That's what she represents, our mother, and she's still our mother. And we consider it a miracle because that portrait that you see here appear in the clothing, and we still have it in the basilica. We still have the drawing. And as I said, she's important because she brought the community together.
Oh, very cool,
So
very cool.
yeah, so that's December 12th.
Thank you for pulling that up.
Then
So we're wanting to
before
see.
that, I'm going backwards in the year.
Uh-huh.
We have, the independence on September 12th and September 15th. And then going back, we talk about Cinco de Mayo, there's the Batalla of Puebla. And right now, what we have are carnavales. The carnivals are like the Mardi Gras you were talking about. 40 days is an important number, in the Bible, or 40 years. So we also have the 40 years between the Holy Week, going backwards to the Wednesday when you have Ash Wednesday.
Right.
You have to have 40 days. So you must have your carnivals before Ash Wednesday, which in this year falls, I think, on the 17th.
Right, Fat Tuesday.
Yes,
It is the Tuesday before Ash
before
Wednesday.
that one,
Okay,
yes.
so they're all like.
And in Mexico, in Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, we all have that same tradition of the carnaval. And you have these big cars, and you have big, dolls made, and people wear beautiful dresses, and they cover their heads. What we don't do is people don't raise their shirt and show. That doesn't happen.
That's good,
Yeah, that's
The
in New Orleans.
debauchery is New Orleans.
Yes, that doesn't happen
They
in
don't do it
Mexico.
as much
It's family
anymore.
oriented.
They've cracked down on them quite a bit. They don't do it quite as much as they used to. But when I first started going, it was like, and I was younger, I'm like, what?
No.
But
Mexico
now
is
they're,
family oriented,
yeah.
so it's more about the
Yeah.
art, the outfits, which
Yeah.
are amazing, the cars what they carry, the big dolls that they make, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful parade, and again, that all this pandemic has affected all this
Yeah.
different parades, but it's a beautiful parade for Carnaval, and it's happening next week between the 11th and the 15th.
Are they
That's
gonna do
when
it?
it's happening.
Are they gonna do it this year?
In many places, it's not going to take place. Some places may still have it. Places that are closer to the coast, and most carnavals are closer to the coast, may be having something, because it seems that people who live closer to nature, closest to the ocean, don't get as sick as much.
There's the ocean breeze, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
so it's safer
it
to be there.
It moves the air through, I think with most viruses and illnesses and stuff, if you're closed, that's why people don't wanna be inside. And
Yes.
breathing each other's
So
air,
maybe
on the
being
airplane,
outside.
but the ocean, the breeze that comes off the ocean is almost all the time. There's a few times that there's a doldrum. I used to live on the coast, but mostly you always have a breeze.
And maybe
And that
that's
pushes that stuff away, it doesn't sit there in front of your face.
That's what we hope, because Dia de Muertos also has a beautiful parade, and it didn't take place.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful in Mexico City when it happens, so I hope it happens
I
this
actually
year.
got to go, not last year because it didn't, unfortunately it didn't occur, but the year before that, I got the chance to, I study in Mexico, so the National Autonomous University of Mexico, and so I was able to assist that festival of Dia de los Muertos, and it was beautiful. Everyone gathered to see many statues like these on floats and dance. It's definitely something to be part of
Yeah.
and see in person.
And we don't celebrate death, just, you see the movie Coke, we can't explain it. We're actually celebrating life.
Right.
We celebrate where we come from, who are our ancestors, we honor them, because that's the responsibility we have of who we are today.
Right.
We carry the DNA of somebody in our family who dance or who love to talk or who love art, so we're making them proud. So we actually celebrate life and we remember them. And that's why we take food to the cemetery, because we want to honor who they were. That's why we make all this to remember death, because death is part of life. And to all the indigenous people, death was part of life. So you have to celebrate it as you celebrate life. And these dolls became very famous after Diego Rivera incorporated them. Well, he didn't create them. Posadas, another artist, created them to make fun of people who wanted to dress nice and look nice and separate, like maybe I'm lighter, I'm better, I'm richer. And he said, no, underneath everybody is the same skeleton, with the same blood, so we're all the same. And then Diego Rivera decorated them with more hats and more dresses and made a painting, where they are the paseo walking in the park.
Right.
And after that, they became very, very popular until they're made and have formed part of the altares de muertos during the Day of the Dead. But even the altares de muertos, the way you saw it here in CityArts, that's from Mexico City or from and around the state of Mexico. Yes, we have a state called the state of Mexico next to Mexico City. It's confusing, and the country's called Mexico, so we really like the name. But if you travel around the different states on November 1st and 2nd, the altares look different. Every state makes a different altar. So the meaning is the same, to honor your ancestry, but they do look different. So it's interesting even to travel around and see it along with different pottery, different food, different outfits, dances, songs.
Do they only do that though, like on the Day of the Dead, or do they leave things on the graves for their loved ones, throughout the year? Does it depend, or is it?
No, for
Is it
food,
more-
only for the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Flowers are all year
All
long.
year round,
But
okay.
for the food, it's only for the Day of the Dead. And there's certain flower that's called cempasúchil, which is orange, yellow, that really grows at that time of the year. So we cover everything. Another thing that we do is we make beautiful carpets made with those flowers at that time. And then for Virgin Mary, December 12th, also beautiful carpets. You will see them here in the States, in Ocala.
We're gonna try to get one in CityArts, but I'm working on it.
Yes, that's a surprise
I'm
that
working
we
on
have.
it.
Yes,
We'll
yes.
see
in
if I
Casa
can make
de
it happen this year,
Mexico.
we'll see.
Yes, because we have another celebration, the Festival of Flowers. When spring comes, we put flowers even in our bicycles. And we celebrate children, and we celebrate the flowers, and we celebrate life. So we put flowers everywhere, and it's called the Festival of Flowers, that has dances, and it has songs. Well, we cannot do all that right now, but at least we're trying to have some surprise for you with flowers.
Something.
Yes, so with Casa de Mexico, we're working with Kat to make that happen at Tertulia Cuatro Gatos. And Mexico Lindo also will all be here together to bring it together for you. Yes, and remember that you can follow any of this like Casa de Mexico in the website, Facebook, Instagram. With Tertulia Cuatro Gatos, we are on Facebook, and we have not been able to get together. Sadly, we used to have all these programs in different libraries, City Hall, and UCF, but right now it's all virtual through Facebook. But with Mexico Lindo, we had them here. You were the first ones last year to have a festival.
That's because we
Mexico
did
Lindo was here.
our table seating, we kept it very COVID oriented and very COVID friendly, but it was great to be able to do it. We thought for a while that we weren't gonna be able to pull it off. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the table seating.
I hope
And
that you
people
keep it
sitting
because
there.
I love it.
Yeah, I think we're talking about, and we don't know what this year is gonna bring, obviously, but we're hoping that, we can incorporate a little bit of both. And maybe we do an early table seating where people come and they sit down, they have dinner like they did before. And then, how we changed we ran the first group out, then we went to a second group. Instead of that, taking the tables away and then having the dancing and the second set to be more lively without the food. So maybe incorporating a little bit of both, as long as we, COVID goes away.
Well, we like being
Feel like
outside, with nature. In
Yeah.
fact, to Dr. Phillips, how they have put the pots outside for different shows. Please go. It's beautiful. A nice experience to be out there with the stage in
Yeah.
nature.
Well, we saw it
Beautiful.
during Fusion Fest, a little bit of
Yes.
a little bit of that. I haven't been to one of their shows out there yet.
And we were part of Fusion Fest too, as Casa de Mexico. We were there, Mexico Lindo was there dancing and part of our exhibition to explain Dia de Muertos, to explain the Posadas and Pastarelos from Christmas. We did all of that to share our culture. So we were very happy to be there. Thank you, Terry. Even we had a mariachi.
Anybody out there have any questions that we didn't cover in Facebook land?
Well, you have lots of fans. Of course, JJ Gonzalez is watching.
Thank you, JJ.
Andu
Goliath from Venezuela. They're both from Venezuela. Thank you.
Jose Rodriguez Marmol.
Also from Venezuela. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Linda, our Linda.
Yes, she's the one who told me, move that stuff closer to the camera so I can see it.
Here are water balls in different colors. Oh, here, show you this one. This is
Knock the beer over,
Oh,
Beatrice.
that's beautiful.
see from the state of Chiapas.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
The Consul of Mexico
Bring it
here in
a little
Orlando
closer.
always has celebrations for the Day of the Dead. We have exhibition altares in the consulate for independence. And the Consul of Mexico, Juan Sabinas, with his wife Isabel, he is from the state of Chiapas. He was a governor of the state of Chiapas. And this beautiful embroidery is from the state of Chiapas. Again, Consul Mex will be the site to follow on Facebook for the Consul of Mexico, because if you truly want to see like different celebrations or what Mexico is about, Consul of Mexico is another good place. You can follow Consul Mex, Casa de Mexico, for all Hispanic countries, Tertulia Cuatro Gatos, or Danzas, Mexico Lindo. You can always ask Kat, because we're all good friends.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, this is a beautiful
guys.
embroidery handmade.
That's very cool.
Anything else? Did we show everything on the table?
We showed lots,
Oh, I'm gonna show you something back here.
the tequila's not full, or I'd show you how to do a shot, but that's it.
No, I'm gonna
That
show
we
you
learned to
this
take
one.
warm, right? Traditionally, it's warm.
This has the Aztec calendar. It's beautiful, so I have to show you. I'll put it back there, but I think I'll show it here.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And yes, the Aztecs had sacrifices. Yes, they did. They were warriors. They respected other cultures like the Toltecas and the Mayas, who were like the Greeks into science. But Aztecs were warriors.
Right,
They
the
sacrificed people. There's the buckets at cup, ready to eat the heart of a person. So yes, they were sacrificing the top of the pyramids, but that doesn't happen anymore. Now you can visit the pyramids and not be afraid you will not be sacrificed. You have tequila now and be happy. But see, I wanted to show you. And yes, their months were lunar. So that's why they have many more months than we do. Again, they follow nature, the lunar months. But
That's
all
really
the
cool.
dates and everything are here. Do you remember the Mayas also had a calendar and people talk about the
That's
world
very cool.
ending because
Oh, right,
the Maya
yeah, I do
calendar
remember that.
was
It was
ending.
because it ran out in like 2012 or something like
Yeah,
that.
so everybody was very worried that
Yeah.
the world was going to
That was it,
end.
because the Mayans,
Yes.
they didn't go past that. They're like,
And I have to tell you, it's so
Stomach.
interesting because like with the calendar, because of the lunar months, they didn't complete 365 days. There were 5 days that they were not part of the lunar months. And those 5 days were the 5 days of bad luck. So you have to be very careful and then try to like be good
On
in
those 5
purifying
days.
and behaving to make up for those 5 days. So it's very interesting to read about the different traditions because they all form part of us in one way or another, the way we are, the way we behave. We're all human beings and are connected that way.
That's
Like, good luck or bad luck or karma.
Yeah.
So it's very, very distinct.
Very cool. Well, ladies, you have been fabulous. I can't tell you how much
Thank
I've
you.
learned and how much I appreciate this. You're coming out, spending your time educating us. Thank you for watching. Honey, what's coming up next?
So coming up next, is mining the silver lining with Bob. But while these ladies are setting or breaking down, we are going to. Is
We
there
got a
one
doll.
more thing
Oh,
to
so
share?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you this doll that is so
Come
typical
closer,
to
yeah.
find in Mexico. They make them even with the different outfits from the different states. See, this one had her braids. I love them. I love these dolls.
So cute.
And they have made them even big out of papier mache, like the big skulls, and put them around Mexico City because they're just beautiful.
Yeah,
But see this one with her flowers, her dress, her braids. So I
She
wanted
has
you
all
to
her
see
little
them.
layers. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's her beautiful dress. So yeah, so you see her.
Very cute.
I feel like I dress like her in life.
Sometimes you do, except for the braids. I don't think I've seen you.
I don't do
with
braids.
yet.
No, not very often. Well, yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for everyone who
watching us.
commented as well. Lots of really nice comments and good conversation on the Facebook Live. So we're gonna hide our screen for a few minutes. Everyone, stay tuned. It's gonna be.
And remember,
lots-
Casa de Mexico website, because
yeah.
we explain a lot of this in the website in Casa de Mexico.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.